Good morning, everyone. It is great to have you here on week 2 of our journey to Jerusalem. Now, if you remember from last week, or if you watched last week, we are going on a journey to Jerusalem. We're not actually going to Jerusalem, so don't pack your suitcases just yet, but we're going on a journey with Jesus to Jerusalem because Jesus took this journey to Jerusalem right before he died on the cross. So we are going to meet some of the people that he met along the way. And if you watched last week, you will know that we met a guy called Zacchaeus. We like to call him Zach. And this week we are going to meet another man that Jesus met along his way to Jerusalem. But this man, he is a little bit different than what Zacchaeus was. If you remember from last week, Zacchaeus, he didn't really have an awful lot going for himself. One thing was he was really short, really small. The second thing was he was rich, but not in a good way. And third of all, he wasn't very liked. Zacchaeus didn't have very much going for him, but this man that we are going to meet today, he was a lot worse than Zacchaeus. This man had actually been blind from when he was born. He hasn't been able to see anything for his whole life. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine waking up and not being able to see anything? Nothing at all. Have a think for a moment. What would be the one thing that you would miss? Would it be that you would miss seeing your friends and family? Would it be that you missed being able to watch TV, watch your favourite movie, your favourite TV programme? Would it be that you miss seeing what is outside, seeing the beautiful creation that God made? I know for me, 2 of the things that I would really miss would be my family. I have little nieces and nephews, and I would miss seeing them grow up. But another thing that I would miss is I would miss the beautiful colours of the seasons that change each year. I would miss that so much. Sometimes I think that I take being able to see for granted. I wake up every morning and I can see everything. And I am so thankful for that. But I think it's something that we don't really think about all that often. And I don't think it would be something that we would think about until it was gone. Unlike Zacchaeus, this man was not rich. This man probably would have had no amount of money to his name at all. He probably has never had a job. He's never owned his own house. He probably doesn't have any possessions at all. This man has probably spent his whole life in the same place, in the place where Jesus met him on the road to Jerusalem, sitting on the side of a road. If you remember from last week, Zacchaeus was not liked at all by anybody, really. But this man is different. This man probably has never had the opportunity to make any real friends. I imagine this man is used to being ignored and passed by. I imagine that the people who walk by him every single day have gotten used to the fact that he sits there every single day and they don't even give him a second thought. They probably don't even look in his direction anymore. I wonder if there's ever been a time where you have felt like this, where you have felt left out, where you have felt ignored and not important. I wonder how that made you feel. Did that make you feel happy? Or did that make you feel really sad and lonely? I'm sure if you've ever felt like this before, the one thing that you would have loved someone to do was to look at you, was to ask if you were okay, was to ask if there was anything that they could do for you. And you know what? This man had this opportunity. There was one person who did notice him, and that person was Jesus. Like Zacchaeus, this man got to meet Jesus. Now, he didn't have to climb a tree to meet Jesus, no. He sat by the side of the road and he called out to Jesus. But because the crowd of people were so loud and they didn't care about the man on the side of the road, he had to shout louder. He had to fight to be heard. But he was heard. Jesus heard him. And whenever Jesus heard him, Jesus said, "What do you want me to do for you?" Just like Zacchaeus, Jesus saw this man as important. Whenever everybody else around him didn't really view him as very much, Jesus saw him as a real person, and Jesus wanted to spend time with him. So as soon as Jesus heard his request to have his sight back, Jesus healed the man, and he was able to see. The man who was born blind was able to see. What an amazing miracle that is. But you know what, boys and girls? This man, as soon as he saw again, he didn't get up and go and find himself a job or buy a house, or he didn't go and make new friends. No, it says in the Bible that as soon as the man was able to see again, he began to follow Jesus. Like Zacchaeus, when this man met Jesus, he wasn't just changed on the outside. It wasn't just his sight that changed. No, he was changed from the inside. His heart was changed too, because when he could see again, he decided to follow Jesus. He gave up his life and he decided that he was going to live for Jesus and be a disciple of Jesus. What an amazing story this is. What an amazing miracle this is for a man who was born blind to be able to see again. Jesus is our light. Jesus shows us the way, and we need to be like Zacchaeus and this man. We need to follow him. We need to make a choice. We need to make a decision every day to give our lives over to Jesus and to follow him.